Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate live and after show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum, which you should definitely all join. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Now, you can't unfortunately join the show live as we are having some issues with Discord, but in the meantime I'm going to shout out all the people who support me on Patreon. So a massive, huge, enormous shout out to Adrian Quintana, Alison Main, Billy Highvolt, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As The Earth, Chow Young Cat, Dank, David Wayne Foster, Edwin Johnson, Felix Hung, Fireball X, God Rockin', Jeronism, Joshua, Kirsten, Life is Short, Matt, Michael, Page, Peter, Qatar Craig, Reinhardt, Renee, Sally, Sam, Skeptic936, Texas Mike, just scroll down, theflatearthchannel.com, Tina Baker and Tom Perkins. So a massive shout out to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now we are fortunately joined by a few people in Google Plus. As I say, we don't unfortunately have a public link, although there is a link down there if you do want to join the Discord server, but I don't think you'll actually be able to get on the show despite my best efforts. So a very warm welcome in the meantime to Sleeping Warrior, Paul, Quantum Eraser, Flatzoid and 10th Man. Hello, one and all.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Hello. Should I dispose of housekeeping or dispense with housekeeping on account of the fact that we don't have a Discord server with us?
I think we want to tackle Coriolis today.
Yeah. Axial rotation.
Doesn't apply unless we can prove that the Earth's turning.
Okay, I mean, be my guest. You know, there's going to be very little for me to do in this show other than fiddle with Discord and try and get it working.
Okay, QE, take over. You were saying?
Well, it seems like it's the burning topic, and I love every second of it. The Coriolis effect. And Nathan brought up a good subject. He was thinking on his feet yesterday, which is a rare skill these days, and it didn't get its due justice, I don't think. Well, do you want me to prime it?
Yeah, I mean, you get kudos in Skype for this. And I don't think it's a unique idea. It was discussed. I think it was Gleam that discussed it with me over email. It just never had come up as such an opportune moment with somebody who's a semi-friendly in the form of Babs to go through the increase in altitude. But hopefully, I've primed you enough to detail it better than I.
Yeah, I listened to the show yesterday late. Babs made about 35 contradictions within 2 minutes. And nobody called him on it. They called him on a couple of them, but not all of them. Excuse me. Yeah.
But wasn't he playing a friendly baller as a flat?
Yeah, I don't know. He gets. I get the willies a little bit. Sorry, Babs. I don't know where you're coming from. With the voice inflections and just the way you present your friendly unquote topics. So let's get to the topic that was brought up yesterday. It had to do with the conservation of momentum. It always has to, I don't know why it does this, but this is pretty funny. I thought that when you have a helicopter, let's just put ourselves in the paradigm of a spinning Earth. So you have a helicopter, it starts to hover, takes off, it starts to hover. And then it starts to hover, but raises its altitude. That would mean, according to the Baltards, it conserves it not only conserves its momentum, it has to increase its momentum the higher the elevation goes. Now, I had a proxy on this thing in my Coriolis presentation from years back, and I brought it up a few weeks ago. It was talking about how the atmosphere would have to spin or increase its tangential speed the higher in elevation you go. So it's sort of in the same vein. But I'd like to hear the explanation to this from Baltards. Of course, we won't get one today. But that's the deal. So what do you guys think about that?
Well,
I would like to say, oh, wait a minute, before you say anything, I was the one brought that up to Zanuck a while back about the tangential velocity at higher altitude, just for clarification.
I just want to summarise the question then for the Globetard religious zealots. So, given that a helicopter that is hovering is staying above the same ground, and that the fundies who come and argue with us at trench level claim the atmosphere and Earth travel as one when spinning, how would that be possible given that the circumference or the distance that is travelled along with the rotational reference frame underneath the helicopter, as you raise in altitude on a presupposed sphere, the distance that you will travel will also increase as you increase the edge, the outside edge that you're traversing. So if it's claimed that the helicopter is maintaining the angular velocity or the tangential speed of the spinning ball when it leaves that reference frame, or doesn't as they argue, then it would need to increase its velocity to match the spin of the Earth underneath it as it raises in altitude. Now, although you phrased it almost as a question, and I'm saying how is that possible, in reality it simply isn't. It isn't possible. It can't increase the tangential velocity that it's apparently retained. If it's retained it, if anything, in this nonsense argument of no Coriolis demonstration, in this nonsense argument where they're not getting the proof of Earth spin, they're just arguing for why we don't see that deviation that is claimed to be there, then they have to account for the fact that going up higher means you have to travel faster to keep up with the spin underneath you. And that simply is impossible. That's not going to happen. A hovering helicopter isn't increasing its speed in some direction because it doesn't know, the helicopter doesn't know that the Earth is obviously increasing its speed underneath you as you go further out away from the centre of rotation by increasing in altitude on a presupposed spinning ball Earth. So you can't have that helicopter not only retaining velocity but increasing velocity to maintain its hovering position as it increases in altitude. That's just simply impossible. That cannot happen. So it debunks the notion that Earth is spinning along with the atmosphere, and that's why we don't see the claim proof of Coriolis. It's travelling as one. Well, no, as it goes up in altitude, it would have to go even faster to keep up with the ball underneath. And that doesn't happen either. So the Earth just simply isn't spinning. Coriolis, I'd never understood why they had to fight it so vehemently and go after people's jobs like George Netanyahu did with Brian Mullen. Now I know the answer. It's because it's a very fragile argument for them. They have to simultaneously have globe priests like Neil deGrasse Tyson argue the true rhetoric that Coriolis deviation proves Earth spins, whilst have the fundies like George at trench level tell the people here, us arguing it, that we don't see deviation, that they're travelling as one. And that fragility is why it must be so vehemently fought. Because in reality, they need deviation and they don't have deviation. The deviation from you spinning underneath something that leaves this claim to be spinning Earth, that deviation is what is proving it spins. The fact is we don't see it. So they argue why we don't see it. And very, very vehemently. And this is why. Because it's a shit argument for proving Earth spins, because we're never seeing any deviation. It doesn't matter that Neil deGrasse Tyson claims we see it for a second and a half in a ball, or the same fundies who argue that Earth and atmosphere travel as one, not giving you a deviation, say a bullet does deviate, because it's in the air for about a second and a half. But in reality, if they are to be believed, the trench level fundies, that Earth and atmosphere travel as one, then your helicopter, when hovering, is in fact increasing its velocity because the outside edge of that sphere that it's matching the speed of is increasing as it goes higher. Simply impossible. That cannot be the case. Debunking the notion that A, Earth is spinning, and B, Earth and atmosphere are spinning as one. Neither is the case, and it's debunked by a drone or a hovering helicopter.
It can't get any clearer than that.
Earth isn't spinning. The Earth is obviously stationary.
Why can't we just apply the principle that unless they can prove that the Earth is turning, there's no point even arguing Coriolis because it doesn't even apply. It's kind of like assuming that it's there without proving that the Earth's turning first. Because we don't see any apparent deflection. So why would you think that there is an apparent deflection that needs to be corrected when you just don't observe it in the first place?
Well, they attempt to use the Coriolis effect, which they can't even define. I've yet to have one single baller in 3.5 years actually define the Coriolis effect correctly. But they feebly attempt to use the Coriolis effect to prove that the Earth's spinning.
Yeah, and the problem is also they don't understand it, so they try and hurricanes. In the meantime, they're actually showing how stupid they are because they literally think that is the Coriolis effect. That's the problem.
Maybe they picked Coriolis because there's plenty of double speaky type sounding terms in it, not actual deviation. You know, various different reference frames that they can double speak their way around. The not actual effect being an actual deviation demonstrated in the cyclones. You're like, well, if you've got something cyclonic, then it's obviously not a not actual deviation. But in me explaining that, even that's quite complicated for average Joe to wrap his head around. So you're saying a cyclone isn't a demonstration of Coriolis because it is deviating, but isn't deviation what you're saying they should see when they're arguing for Coriolis, but then arguing against? You see how easy it is to get lost if you're an audience member. Now, if you go back and listen to every word I've said, it makes complete coherent sense. I've said it in the right order with the correct terminology. That doesn't mean it's easy to understand. Hence, if you're a fundie, you can lose the audience in double speak really quickly. And you can lose the person you're debating against really quickly too. And the moment they get a terminology wrong, you hold them to the wall if you're a fundie. Or, as I've found out in recent days, if you know it inside out, back to front, you can do the same to them.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I ask them to repeat what they say, and usually they realize they're contradicting themselves if they just repeat it. But must they just run to another corner and play victim?
The main address that QE gave was, okay, let's go back to the start. What causes the Coriolis effect? So if you go to the causes, then they die with this argument, because the Earth must turn underneath for Coriolis to exist. So that answers Anthony's question. So 2 separate reference frames.
I wanted to actually ask something yesterday when my mic gave in. Like on the equator, they say we're spinning 1,000 miles per hour or whatever. If you have to go to the North Pole, obviously your longitude line's going to be much, much shorter. Won't you be spinning like crazy because you're spinning on one spot?
It's not even worth arguing within the fallacy. It doesn't make any sense. You got to prove the Earth is spinning first. That's when Babs yesterday said, well, we've established. And I go, no. We haven't established the Earth is spinning yet.
Yeah, I think they all just live in concepts.
They have to go to these crazy arguments. I just posted something in Master B from the Express newspaper, and it's talking about horses, cricket, swimmers, all experiencing Coriolis. I mean, they're going to die 1,000 deaths with the same dagger here. How in the world can you say swimmer, a cricket ball, experiences Coriolis when they're saying, oh no, that's not what happens. It's ridiculous. That's why the causes is the key thing.
Yeah, that's why I like the scientific method so much. If you just break everything down from one and go up, then you'll see straight away if it is actual true or not.
Well, they say it spins under the Foucault pendulum. They say it spins under a building when you drop a heavy weight from a tall building. They say it spins under a football field goal kick, but the minute you go on the helicopter, it stops.
Yeah, the funny thing is they keep on bringing up remember I told you, every time you hear conservation of momentum, pin them down. What are you talking about? What is conserving its momentum? Pin them down to what exactly it is. Because they don't even realize they're train wrecking their own argument. Because if it did retain the conservation of angular momentum, right? There would be no Coriolis effect. And so every step they take, it doesn't matter which direction, there is a flamethrower waiting for them. I love this argument. This is my second favorite argument after the fairy tale vacuum of space gets pulverized into the incoherent oblivion. This is the second one. These two arguments put the nail in the coffin for the fairy tale spinning boltard space monkey religion.
So,
Thanks.
John, very good. When a few shows ago, I think it was the Rumpus or somebody said that when the airplane takes off, it's flying backwards at the rotational speed of where it took off.
Yeah, that's right.
So then no Coriolis, right? If it's retaining.
Yeah, it's a train wreck every step they take, gentlemen. Landmines, there's claymores everywhere. Any direction they go. I love it.
So the higher you go, much like if you envision a bicycle wheel near the axle, as you go up towards the tire, the higher you go. With the helicopter, the same thing is happening. The speed would have to pick up, correct?
It's a good way to think about it. If you invert the bike wheel.
Yeah.
The tangential speed.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it
What is
doesn't.
so hard
it
to
doesn't know
understand?
how.
I'm saying, what is so hard for them to understand it? It's simple.
It's not they don't understand. They can't understand, and it's religious zealotry. That's what it is.
They got to defend the ball. They won't accept any evidence.
Shout out to Godzilla37. I watched this enough. Might as well contribute. Here's £0.5. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Really appreciate it.
Smash that super chat. Super chats cure cancer.
And
Smash
8.
super chat, whack a troll.
You got your premiere show today, John?
Yes, sir, I do. Thank you for asking. At 2 p.m. U.S. Central, 8 p.m. UK. Quantum Eraser live channel debut.
It's gonna
be there or be sphere.
You do know that it's gonna be littered with like, what the fuck's wrong with my sound? Why is this not working?
Hey,
We've all been
hey.
there, John. Don't worry, it'll happen.
Thanks, man. You should be a motivational speaker.
Wow. Just don't expect it to go nice and smooth because the first time you do it, it's just a shit show.
Yeah, but you got a radio voice.
Who?
You, Anthony, you got a radio voice.
I've got a face for radio as well. Although, actually, did you see the picture in the Sun newspaper? That was an epic catalogue picture.
No. Post it.
Okay.
So,
hang on.
Paul Marsh
so Tony,
posted
did they hash up your story in the Sun once it made print?
Yeah, of course they did. He's quoted me as saying things I didn't say. I said literally the opposite. He said that I denied. He contradicts himself in the paper, in the article. He says, I mean, imagine if one of us said this. He says, clearly passionate about the subject, the businessman eloquently described some of the scientific experiments that he's carried out. No, not that, but right, here we go. Tony thinks gravity is a pseudoscience. He said he doesn't know where the sun is. No, I said I don't know what the sun is. And then he said, and maths doesn't prove the real world, which of course is true. Having said that we should only believe what we can observe, I didn't say that. He then dismissed the existence of the International Space Station, which, with a decent telescope, can be seen orbiting the Earth. So he claims that I dismissed the existence of the International Space Station, but then he's quoted me as saying, it does look like a structure, but it looks holographic. Now, I did say that, but that contradicts his earlier statement, which says that he dismisses the existence of the ISS. And I'm like, well, if I'm acknowledging that it looks like a structure, you can't say that I've just dismissed it, can you?
Well, no matter what they say you see, they're on record saying they can't go out of lower orbit. So whatever they've got up there doing whatever dance it's doing, it's in lower orbit. It's not in space.
Yeah.
I was actually having an interesting conversation with someone yesterday about the ISS. Some people are saying because there's so much flacking, don't you think soon they're going to make some kind of catastrophe with the ISS and it's just going to explode or something?
Well, back to 10th man. Sorry about that, Flatzoid. It depends on what they define as space. Now, the ISS is above the Kármán line, but I think Europe and the United States have different definitions where they exactly arbitrarily define it.
Can you guys see that?
What?
I'm screen sharing.
No.
John might not be able to see it, but the people in the Hangout should be.
I'm in the
No.
Hangout.
I don't think that.
Yeah, it's good to see John in here.
I'm in the Hangout, Anthony. Nothing's showing up.
So
Yeah, I've been having problems screen sharing. It wouldn't let me do it in Jose's chat the other day either. Don't know why.
Jose.
so they
Maybe shared in us, Mr. B.
so
Make sure
John,
you're
the
Oh, real
Kármán
quick,
line.
Oh, so make sure you're clicking on the app that you're the window or the application. Anthony, I noticed if I don't do that, it won't share.
Oh, right, okay. It did ask me what screen do I want to share, and then it didn't actually do it. Yeah, it's not doing it.
So back to the Kármán line, if I may. John, are you there?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's interesting when I view the so-called pictures from the ISS. How far is the Kármán line?
Hello.
Hey, Ranty.
Ranty. Yeah, I'd also like to know.
I mean, they're saying it's what, 250 miles up or something to that, or 400 miles up?
Yeah, so the Kármán line is a lot less. If I'm not mistaken, it's 60 miles. No.
Okay.
Listen, you're gonna have to check that. I'm just guessing.
Right, but I do recall them saying that the ISS is something north of 250 miles up in the sky.
Yes,
I think
that's
it's
correct.
250K.
Now, if that's the case, then when we see pictures from the ISS of Earth below, it seems almost very similar to what you see from an airplane at 35,000 feet.
Quick shout out to Earth is Seriously Flat. It says, teach the globe zombie animal mind. FE logic. Thanks for the super chat. Earth is Seriously Flat.
You missed the super chat from before that.
Did I? Oh yeah, Leonardo Gonzalez. Thank you very much for the super chat, Leonardo. Nathan, the show is looking great, and shout out to Sleeping Warrior and QE. Thank you very much for the super chat, Leonardo Gonzalez, and thank you for giving me the nod, Arwin. I'm still trying to get Discord to work.
When you get a chance, I've got a message for John.
Yeah, did you call me like at 6 o'clock this morning?
I did, yeah, I had to. You've been naughty.
Hey, you don't call me at 6. I'm not gonna pick up. I've been naughty. I like the way you said that. Say that again.
You've been naughty, and you've been summoned to court by George Netanyahu to answer for the crimes of the housekeeping questions.
I toe tagged that moron so many times. Give me a break. He couldn't summon Elmer Fudd.
I have to issue it. You know, it's just one of those things, John.
Listen,
You're gonna have to sit through it, John.
Listen. When Tiger Woods is at the Masters, right, and he's driving on the 18th, and Elmer Fudd is out there in the gallery, right, and he's heckling Tiger. Does Tiger pay him any mind? I rest my prosecution rests. Clown.
Are you actually refusing to go to court and have George ask you questions about the housekeeping question?
Yeah, I'm not being questioned by Elmer Fudd, delusional moron. Sorry. You could also,
Why not?
you could go to my channel. Hold on,
One
Arwen.
of
Hold your
those
pants on.
housekeeping questions of this.
Hold your pants on. You can also go to my channel and see the numerous toe delusional clown.
Yeah.
Okay? Thanks.
But we want to see the interactive, John. Come on, do
Yeah,
it.
we do.
Sorry,
we do.
I got
We
bigger
wanna
fish
see
to
John.
fry. At
I
2
like
p.m.
that.
today,
Bigger fish.
U.S.
Is
Central.
there a bigger baller fish you need to fry? Why
2
won't you
p.m.
just
U.S.
do it?
Central. While you friggin' rumpus me. At 2 p.m. UK or 2 p.m. U.S. Central, 8 p.m. UK, my live channel debut today. Thanks. Be there or be sphere.
Moving on.
Maybe you could sit there and then he can ask you about how closed thermoses are open systems.
How could he do that if he says there's a dome,
Dome field.
force field, a dome field?
I don't see why you couldn't join it just for the humor of it. You
Because
know?
I got bigger fish to fry.
Like what?
That's one reason.
Yeah, but like what?
Yep. Like what? Like my frigging channel. That's
Yeah,
what.
but that's today, okay? But there's more than just today. I don't think the challenge is necessarily set for today.
Let me see if
No,
I
it
can
won't be for
understand
today.
this. He's already fried this fish. He's already fried this fish with
Yeah,
toe
we
tags.
heard him the first time. You don't need to repeat it for him.
What can I finish?
It's
with?
not about frying that fish. It's about
Well,
doing
it's about
some
letting me finish.
interactive stuff.
It's about
but
letting
this-
me finish a statement. If you've already fried the fish, why are you going to fry it again?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's only so many
Somebody
times you need
wanted their
to.
fish more well done. That's why.
There's only so
Well-
many times you need to kill someone. You understand? I mean, really.
Let's just ask Arwen something. Who wants it fried again?
Randy.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
No, I
Oh,
think
no.
it'd be good
Randy
advertising.
likes
for
his
John,
fish
actually.
extra
hold
fried.
on.
right?
Hold on. So why does Ranty want this fish fried twice?
I don't know. Content?
Twice.
I'm asking
Hundreds
Ranty.
of times.
Oh, me? You're asking me? I'm passing the message on. George came on the channel last night and specifically called out John to appear in court on my
Perfect.
court
That's all I
sessions.
need. That's all I need. So George wants to be fried twice, correct?
Okay.
Oh well, good for George.
But
I
Ranty,
think
you
it'd be
would
great advertising
kind
for
of see
John.
it as interesting, right? To have that on your channel.
How many clips have you got tearing George a new one, Huey?
Me personally,
Yeah, you personally.
on my channel.
Not published or unpublished.
Oh, goodness great. I got a whole clown file on this guy. This is from a long time ago, man. In fact, I was there when he called out Brian Mullen, right? Remember when that crayon muncher came on the channel, delusional fuckwit, came on the channel and he brought up his YouTube channel with all his information in the comment sections. Remember that?
I do.
Well, if you scroll down in that comment section, guess who you're going to find?
You.
Yeah, me. This idiot. Because for one, at the time, I didn't know George all that well. He was on ED, Erectile Dysfunction channel. And I just took offense to him going after Brian Mullen because I knew Brian Mullen was right. And George was calling him all kind of names, right? And I was real nice to George initially. I said, hey, what's up with this? You're both professionals, right? There's an easier way to go about this. But he kept going on and on. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to just slam dunk you right here on your channel. And if you'd like to go, I would suggest to go to that show where he pulled up. Don't ask me the name of it. I'm sure he hasn't deleted the comments. And just watch me tear this knuckleheaded clown to smithereens, step by beautiful step. It's glorious. Go check out the conversation. Steve McClown also chimed in on that thread too. I toe tag that idiot more times than friggin' Carter has liver pills. But check it out.
Though, where you get to defend the housekeeping questions and put him in his place would be, it'd be good for your channel, good for your reputation.
Okay, well, I'm just going to do some shout outs. Don't make me laugh, Runty. Right, Earth is seriously flat. Another shout out.
Really?
Says, oh, God. He says, Nathan Oakley, best globe zombie slayer, FU power. Thank you very much, Earth is seriously flat. And again, Earth is seriously flat. He says, globe possesses zombies defending pseudoscience. Again, a big shout out to Earth is seriously flat. And Mr. Gadget. He says, N. Oakley is the Gordon Ramsay of FE, but he is wrong. Well, I still appreciate your support. Thank you very much for the super chat, Mr. Gadget.
I agree with Ranty. I think it would do John a lot of good to do this because people want interactive things and not afterward elaborate responses kind of things. People want to see the interaction. People want to see John actually interact directly in a more sensible way. So it may be a challenge to him, but I think it would do him a lot of good to actually do it.
It may be a challenge to me.
Owen?
What are you trying these little
To keep your
second
composure
grade,
and not
second
just
grade,
hard
third
work.
grade psychological ploys on me? Do you think
Right.
that's going to work?
Anybody else got any blunt
John?
little tools they'd like to try and dissect up John with?
But I mean, would it be fair to just take up every opportunity that someone challenges you with? I mean, that's not really how it's going to work. And you can't expect to, if I'm going to challenge you today and I challenge you tomorrow and challenge you the next day, are you just going to stand up and get challenged every time? There's a line
Everyone
that
wants.
Yeah,
Everyone wants a shot at the title.
It was
Oh God!
my
Here we go
opinion.
with the rumpusing.
Well, you said title, so that makes sense to me. Followed boxing when I was younger. So when a boxer wants to go up the ranks, he challenges everybody. But when he gets beat, no one is going to waste his time with a boxer that can't hold a fight. So George hasn't held a good fight. So why would you challenge him?
Well, that's a semantic argument, really. I mean, the Globers seem to agree with what he's saying. So
A
it seems
semantic
like a fair
argument.
fight,
Is
really,
there another
putting up our
kind?
best, putting up
Hold on.
our best against their best.
Like, I
How is that
appreciate.
semantic?
Oh,
It
can you
doesn't
stop
sound like
rumpusing
semantics.
Ranty?
It's
Hello,
just giving a reason
hello,
what to do.
hello.
Go ahead.
Can you stop rumpusing Ranty? I know he said semantics. That doesn't mean you've all got to rumpus the shit out of him.
Yeah,
Oh,
you might
yeah,
not
it
agree
does.
with George, but at the end of the day, he keeps showing up. He's even John says he was years ago. He was still doing this battle. Let's see it head to head. Let's see John
I
defend the
don't think so.
housekeeping
Let's get
questions
back to
against
the
him.
semantics argument. Define semantics.
Come on, John.
Hold on, we
You
had a
could
good analogy
actually get
already.
him to completely shave his head.
We had a good
Wouldn't you
analogy
want to be
already.
the man to have him do that?
Right, that
I want to
Eubank-
get back to. I don't want to let this go. Semantics. Define that.
No.
please.
Answer no. The challenge is set. The challenge
You
is set
claimed
to
it.
appear in court with John, and
You
you're
claimed it.
declining.
That's all
okay.
right. There's another subject at hand. Mind warped.
Right.
What? Yeah. What possesses you? What is it? Just I want to get the psychological profile
Hey,
of
Flatsoid,
crayon
I like
munching
your
flat
little-
earthers
I like your little
trying
thing
to
there,
give me
Flatsoid.
advice.
I mind.
What is that?
Yeah.
Right, hold on. Let's get the pleasantries out of the way. Hi, Mind Warped. Good to have you.
Hello again.
Thank you.
I mind.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
Yeah,
know
and
why
was-
you came on here. Now I just want
No,
to get
okay.
a profile, right?
I made Flatsoid's thing. I was just saying, hey, cool. It looks
Yeah.
cool. I didn't realize he put it up there. It's cool.
Yeah, he helped me with the icon. It looks cool, man.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
wonderful.
Before you get into whatever you're
Wow.
going to do, just hold on. So, shout out to oh my god, how do you say this name? Unakotism. Yeah. Thank you very much for the super chat. I can't pronounce your name. Show me a vacuum out of a container. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, thank you for the
that's
super
hard.
chat. And then another quick shout
Okay,
out
John.
to just bear with me, nearly there. Another shout out to Earth is Seriously Flat. It says, Pete Shea, thanks again for teaching Glow Zombies. Thank you, Earth is Seriously Flat. Sorry to interrupt. Now, just before anybody else chimes in, I'm clearing the airwaves again. I've taken the mic away from QE. I'm now handing it back to him. Thank you.
I don't need the mic. Go ahead, Mind Warped.
I was just here, but I thought you might want to speak to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I not only to you specifically, but in general. What compels crayon munching flat earthers to
see right
give
there?
me
Like,
I wasn't
don't need to say
fucking finished yet.
hold on,
Shut the fuck up, you
come on, both of you.
Don't
Both
talk
of you.
about that.
Hold on.
You think you're all that in a bag of chips, son?
I still don't know what the issue is. Mind warp, no offense, but I haven't.
They
heard what the
don't
issue
like
is.
each other.
I don't know what the issue
No,
is yet.
I just don't like how he puts people down, like, and he keeps calling people crayon munchers.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter who it is, flat or a globe. He calls
right.
it's just so
You got that right.
disrespectful.
Yeah, you got
Just
that right.
so disrespectful to people, and like
That's
people
right.
want to come on Nathan's show to debate, and like
Debate.
the globe earthers don't want to come on here because they're scared of you and the way that you
That's
act.
right. They should be scared.
No, that's not fair. That's not what a debate is.
Oh, really? Well, just lecture us, Mind Warped, on what a debate is.
Well, obviously you don't know what a debate is. Then,
Oh,
do
well,
you?
tell us, Mind Warped, since you know, clown.
What's the issue here? Before he tells us what a debate is, I still haven't heard, and no offense to you, Rond, was because you rumpused him while he was about to explain what the issue was. There might not be an issue. It might just be John's issue, for all I know. But I don't know.
No,
what that
it
issue
was
is.
the issue was I was at work today, and I was listening to the show, and like, you know how everyone carries on about rumpusing. Like all John did was rumpus the hell out of like a couple of people, and it was just so rude.
No. Bring it. You said your problem was with Jose.
Yeah, well, you were. You did rumpus the hell out of Jose.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Well, he has a legitimate gripe here. Jose came on, right?
Jose's a decent guy. He was actually asking for you to
He's
like.
a decent
give him some
guy.
respect.
You mean he was polite and soft spoken that morning? Do you live in like a vacuum? Do you know who this guy is?
I talked to Jose. Yeah, I like Jose.
I don't give a shit who you like.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you talk to people so rudely.
Stop muttering. Rudely. He's a retard.
He's not a retard.
He's
he has a view. You have a view.
Demonstrated.
No, he's not a retard.
Yeah,
man, the way you carry on.
Sorry,
like,
just sorry to break you up. Sorry to break you up again. Sorry to rumpus you. Sorry. Hold on.
That's okay.
Is that the crux of the issue? A personal spat about rumpusing? Because if so, I'm going to shout out under the super chat. So shout out to Rambo Jambo. It says, Brander, you are brainwashed. You are washed up and left over. Let's get close to the screen so I can actually read it. Nathan chewed you up and spat you out many times. Must be embarrassing for you. Nathan, you are brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Rambo Jambo, for the super chat and all the compliments. Sorry to split you two up. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. Like you kind of segued into what I was going to say, like with that shout out, because what I was concerned about was, Nathan, you've built a really good channel.
You know, give me a fucking break.
No, shut up and let me talk.
Come here and tell me that. Come here and tell me that.
Well, you're just worried that someone can actually like put up with your shit and give it back to you. So just stop and let me talk.
You're a diviner of my thoughts, Crayon.
Yeah, John.
Look, to be fair, John. To be fair,
you are a terrorist sympathizer. You are a terrorist sympathizer.
Most of the guys know me here, and they know that what I'm like.
I don't care who knows you.
I still don't understand what the issue is.
I'm trying to say it, but like,
because of Jose.
Maybe we should come up with a new name of
He's a snowflake. Keep talking.
I'm trying to explain to Nathan. Oh, I'm trying, but you're rumpusing me.
Yeah, you're trying. Oh, you're rumpusing me, you little snowflake terrorist sympathizer. That's what you are.
Oh my god, you sound like a psycho.
God,
seriously.
And your feigned exasperations too. I don't think you know who you're dealing with, son.
Maybe count to 10.
Okay, right. Well, while you do whatever you're going to do, another shout out too. Let's get close to the screen. Del West Watson, who says QE ruins this show and is a chicken shit who thinks he's all that. Take your head out your own ass, dude. That's what Del West Watson's got to say. Well, I totally disagree. I think QE is amazing, so screw you. But thank you for the super chat.
Well, you couldn't
So,
hear him because
yeah.
Mind Warp was rumpusing your ass.
No, Nathan, can I talk?
You can, yeah.
Yeah, sure. We'd like to hear Crayon Munchers talk. Go ahead.
Whatever. All right. So
Whatever. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
come on.
right.
Don't
whatever.
rumpus him, please, Kiwi. Come on.
Another feigned
Come
exasperation.
on, you're just rumpusing him. He's asked specifically for permission to get a bit of air. Just let him have it.
Yeah, let's go. Another feigned exasperation for us, please, to start off.
yeah, because it's
Clown.
painful. My God. All right. So what my problem is
There
Nathan
was-
has
Oh,
built.
come on, come on. I just want to hear what the problem
God's
is. Please,
sake.
Kiwi,
There we
please.
go. Another feigned exasperation for us to start off.
Oh, I don't need the constant rumpusing. I'm never going to get to hear what the issue is.
I told you what the issue was.
No, I'm trying to explain my side, and you're just rumpusing the fuck out of me, and it's pissing me
Shut up.
off.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'd like to meet you, sir. We'd settle things,
Oh, come on.
right?
Come on.
My God.
Is this necessary?
You're just showing your
gotta
true
kick John,
colours,
Nathan.
man.
I'm
Come
sorry,
on.
you're
but this
just
is
telling your
ridiculous.
true
You got to kick
colours,
Johnny. He's
man.
not giving you any time for people to speak. I'm sorry, it's a shit show.
Shut the
I'm
fuck
going on
up,
mute.
Randy. I'm tired of your fucking
Can we all stop
nonsense,
swearing,
too.
please?
Guys,
No.
please,
Okay, I'm
guys.
just going to keep talking, even though he's trying to talk over me. Nathan, you've built a really good show, and all of us here, we're like a family, like we're flat earthers, we're all here for each other. But what is the point in having a debate when globe earthers want to come on here and they want to debate, but then you've got a guy like John speaking the way he does, not just to us that are like on your show and like part of the show. He's abusing us, and not only that, he's abusing the hell out of people that come on here, and they don't even want to come on here because of the way he treats them. Like, come on, man! Like, can't you see that? Like, you don't want to lose something that you've created over. Like, look at the way he's carrying on. Like, I'm not even being unreasonable. I'm just trying to say, like, he goes off the rails, and like. I know for a fact that some people are just not going to even come on the show anymore, simply because of John.
Okay, you're appealing to me in this regard, and if I use a different example and say, well, Jose, who also comes on the show, obviously less frequently. Well, in the same way, I can't control the fact that he's flip-flopped between globe and flat Earth, can I?
That's not what I'm talking about, though.
But it's just a
like
behaviour.
I'm talking about
his behaviour.
The crew, like me, Flatzoid, 10th, all of us, like. There's only so much. I'm not talking for these guys. I'm not. I just said I'm not speaking for you. I'm not
Then why'd you
speaking for
mention my
you.
name?
I'm just saying because
Then
we're
why'd
all
you
the
mention
people
my
that are usually
name?
on the show. I won't
why'd
mention you then. I'm
mention
sorry.
my name?
He's rumpusing
Okay,
you,
guys.
10th. He's rumpusing you, 10th. Fucking
Number
clown.
one, look, I'm just going to say this. If you have a problem with John, you should private message him. Put it out there in public. That was wrong on your part, number one.
Well, I was just voicing out what everyone's thinking,
now
but just doesn't want to
everyone.
say.
You just said you weren't speaking for me. Now you say you were thinking what everyone
let me just
was
answer
thinking.
him, 10th man. So, have you seen that?
No,
that
people have been saying this for a while now, and it needs to be brought up.
Okay, you've brought it up, and I'm trying to give you a comparison. There's a scene in The Terminator when Kyle Reese is trying to explain to Sarah Connor what the Terminator is, and he's saying, you can't reason with it, you can't stop it, it absolutely will just continue doing what it does. Well, basically, John is the Terminator.
I like the analogy.
Yeah. I think it's just everybody's got their own personality. Imagine how boring it'd be if we had the same personalities.
Doesn't the Terminator get killed in the end?
It absolutely will not stop. Right, shout out to Paul Hall, who says, can't we all get along? ... Indeed. And shout out to Flatulent Unicorn, who says, veganism is anti-life. Earth is flat, QE is ace. Thank you very much for the super chat, Flatulent Unicorn and Paul Hall.
So, can I talk to you directly, John, for a sec?
You can't bargain with it. You can't reason with it. It absolutely will not stop.
He's got to understand where I'm coming from, though. Come on,
I love
seriously.
it. We're now referring to like he's actually a machine from the future sent to destroy globeheads and fundies and crayon munchers.
Yeah, but
And
But I
I'm
have
not
to
here to
say-
like belittle anyone or do anything negative to the show or anything like that. I'm just trying to bring something up just so people can start coming back to the show, like, and we can start having debates again, because it just doesn't seem to be. It seems to be stagnating just a little bit.
I have
Like,
to
let
say-
people come on, like,
I
let
have
them not. Yeah, go on, Flat Side.
Sorry, I have to say, on John's behalf, he has actually quite, how can I say, calmed down quite a bit from previous times.
Really?
Yes,
I don't think so.
you have to.
I must have missed his worst then.
Yo,
Yeah, this is actually
really.
being quite cool, man. I don't know what your problem is.
That's okay.
But yeah,
That's fair enough.
everybody's got their scribbles, but I mean, people have to work
I
through
wasn't
it.
doing
like,
this from a bad point of view. I was just trying to bring something up that like a few people have been talking about in other places. So I just thought it was relevant, and I was only trying to just bring it up from a a good point of view. Like, be sad to
Sure.
see anything like.
Yeah, your heart's
When-
in the right place. You just want the show to grow. That's the point.
I understand.
Yeah, I don't want the show to like just crumble to shit just because like one person's character like is just.
Who's
Yeah,
saying?
Sure,
who's
it was
saying-
everyone before. Now it's only a few people. Which one is it?
Who's saying
I'm just
the
saying.
show-
I'm just saying. Like, why do you have to like? Can't you just tone it down a bit, man? Like I understand.
No.
I understand you have some good. You bring some good stuff forward, man. But
Oh,
like,
you think?
I don't be like that, man. Fuck's sake. Like, I'm just saying, like, the way you talk is just real hostile, and it prevents people wanting to come on the show. Like,
Oh, it does.
Well,
Like who?
it just does, man, and you know that.
Oh, it just does. Like who? Give one example.
Or maybe after the show, you read the comments, and maybe.
Oh,
there'll
yeah,
be
that's
some
what I
people
want to
on there.
do. That's what I want to do. I want to read comments. Yeah, that's a good argument. Are you going to tell us one of your examples, please?
I'm not going to play your games, man.
Oh, you think that's
I'm
a
a-
game? So I asked you to support what you said, and you think I'm playing a game?
This is what you do. Like, you like.
Yeah,
Oh,
you,
you have
you
anything
damn
to support
Skippy.
claims, like, and then you like you sit down and you like someone puts
That's
a video out and you
Well,
just. I think you
Mind
have
Warp-
mental problems, man.
Yeah.
Mind warp,
you got-
if I may, for a moment. Okay, so I get your issue, but there's not a lot of flat earthers that are going to be in Nathan's chat. Yeah, talking down against QE. People do have issues, but it's mostly just the personal issue that's going on because, yeah, as you already stated, QE's work is pretty good. It's just
haven't-
that
I haven't
we're
said that.
all kind of
I've not said
sad.
that.
We're all kind of sad that he doesn't have a thicker skin, and it's just apparently the way he is.
Thicker skin.
And we're
What
all
do you think?
hoping
You're
that
No,
joking,
I think
right?
I think he has a
somehow
thick skin.
I think he
managed
has a
to
thick skin.
Really
no,
thick skin.
no, he doesn't.
Can we all talk about him like he's not here? I think it's not
No, he is
uncomfortable
here.
enough.
John,
I'm trying to
you're not
clarify
really
this.
Okay.
Right, I'm sorry to do this. It's another shout out. MC Universe Sacred Truth Keeper says the government subsidizes the meat industry. Thank you for the super chat, MC Universe Truth, a Sacred Truth Seeker, Sacred Truth Keeper.
I'm gonna go because then QE can go on with the show and
But
not
before you do,
feel like I'm here.
hopefully unimpeded by me or anybody else, mind warped. What exactly? How has this originated? What's the origin of this falling out? Because I still don't understand.
I was at work today and I listened to the show, and I just was listening to the way he was just talking, and I don't know, it just really got to me. Like I had to turn the show off, like just because of the way he was talking.
Was there a specific example?
Yeah, when you were talking to Jose.
That's right. The
Like-
Jose the other day, Nathan. That's what he's talking about.
And the issue was that he was rumpusing
And like,
Jose.
no, it was when Jose was like, "Can I just like at least try and get like some respect and like just like try and say something?" And you were just like, you just wouldn't let him. Like,
You have to earn respect, son.
Jose is pretty good at like holding like neutral debates. Like he's treats people with respect. So like what
You're
has he
out
done
of
that's
your
disrespected you?
mind warp. That name suits you. I don't think we're talking about
I'm
the
glad.
same person.
Thank you.
I don't think we're
Yeah.
talking about the same person.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I hope this hasn't. You know, I still want to be part of all this, but yeah. You know.
That's not how it works. It's not like we're going to fall out with you because you've had a disagreement with someone else on the panel. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
We're adults.
I'm glad. Yeah. We're a family, like, and you know, I just feel like I if you want to know one thing about me is I'll call you out, and you know, I want you guys to call me out if I do, you know, carry on a certain way, and I just felt like this was something that needed to be said because I felt personally that it was having a negative impact on the show. So, you know, I'm sorry if that offends you, John. That's just how I feel. So I just
now
thought I'd
it's
bring it
only
up.
you. So now it's only you. Before it was everyone.
No,
then there was a few
there
people.
are
Stop
others, but
rumpusing
now
me. Before it was everyone. Then it was a few people. Now it's only you. Now, I don't mind being called out. Hold on. I don't mind being called out if there's a calling out that needs to be called out. But if you're going to call me out, son, you better have some cowbell behind you. If you don't, I'm going to rip you to shreds. Like now.
So first off,
thanks.
How old are you?
None of your business.
So why call me son and undermine me like that?
Undermine you like that? Well, I'm older than you are.
How old do you think I am?
I don't know. You're younger than I am. That's why.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Just keep threatening me.
I'm not
He's not threatening you.
What the fuck are you talking
about? He's not threatening you. Condescending to you, slightly.
Okay, anyway. Can we talk about
No. What's this threatening? He just keeps making claims right off the top, right? No support, no nothing. Do you think
what you said?
Just rumpus me then. I was right in the middle of a discussion. Why you
shut
rumpusing
up.
me?
No, shut up.
I'll tell
You
what.
did threaten me. You said if I ever saw you, I want to see you on the street and I'll deal with you. And what's that supposed to mean? You're going to punch my face?
Well, no. You said, what did you say to me before?
Hold on.
You said something.
Hold on. He did just
ahead.
give you an
Sorry.
example. There's his cowbell. You wanted cowbell. There you go, John. He's just said. You said, I want to meet you on the street. You did say that.
Yeah, because he was talking smack. Before, that wasn't part of his last statement, though. That was about 20 minutes beforehand when he was getting all uppity, Mr. Keyboard Warrior. How's that rocket going? Let's get to the comment of this rocket. Because you had said something to me that you were doing things in Flat Earth. Can you expand on that, please?
What would you like to know?
Because you seem to set yourself apart from me because you're out there doing these rocket tests.
I haven't set myself apart from you.
That's what you said in
No, I didn't. I did not. You're putting words in my mouth.
No, I'm not. We can go read it. You implied that I wasn't doing anything. You were out there with your rocket.
No, I never said that, and I never have.
I'll tell you what. I'll go to fucking Master B's right now.
Please, can you both stop swearing?
Sorry about that.
Okay. I said, I know you bring like valid stuff, and so I was just basically saying in there, like, get off your high horse, mate. You can share everything that I said on there. That's fine.
What high horse? What are you talking? Can you be specific for us, please?
I just mean that you seem to just tear everyone to shreds no matter what. Like, you just like, do you have to call everyone a crayon muncher? Like, do you have to call everyone like you got all these like just really, I don't know, man. Like your demeanor, you make me like I literally can't listen to the shows when you're on. Hey,
well then don't. Like, I don't really care. I don't care what you think. Yeah, you haven't provided any cowbell. Give me some cowbell.
What cowbell would you like specifically?
Oh, God. I don't know. Let's try supporting your claims for one. Just the simple claims.
Well, you started talking about my rocket.
You
So
made it.
you want to know about that?
Yeah, made it. Just rumpus me. Just go ahead. Go ahead, speak.
You've been rumpusing me the whole night, you retard.
Yeah. Just another flat earther without any cowbell. What a surprise.
Yeah, that's what I am. Isn't it? Maybe we should just get on with the show. Not going to get anywhere with you, mate.
Maybe. Up yours.
So shout out to Pat Beresford, who says QE is annoying. I couldn't disagree more. But thank you for the super chat.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. God, that guy's annoying.
I know. Here comes some more feigned exasperations. Come on. Why don't you put them all together and tally them up one on top of the other? What are you, some old biddy?
The bottom line is, right, you've got somebody who up until...
Oh my God, an old biddy. What the fuck?
Yeah, old biddy sit around and feign exasperations.
Look, I just want to side... I'm trying to get a word in, sorry. I just want to side slightly with you.
Nathan,
well, mind what? I'm trying to side with you slightly when I say, you know, when you let a bull terrier out and it starts ripping things to shreds, you know, there's going to be a certain amount of people that go, I don't like watching the bull terrier rip things to shreds. But it doesn't change. Well, you know, you've heard it from the horse's mouth, but the reality is, up until QE came on the scene in a direct way for me personally, I was not content, but at least tolerant of people on claim to be our side, on the flat earth side, who just talk nonsense, who just spouted nonsense. Now, I'm in no way suggesting in this instance that you're speaking nonsense, but I'm pointing out that if we're going to progress this subject in any meaningful way, we have to be vigilant to our own side spouting nonsense, basically. Now, that aggression is going to be the same level of veracity from a person who is that way inclined. In other words, you hear QE rip somebody to shreds on the globe side, and it's cheers. But then when somebody who comes in who is a flat earther and asserts nonsense gets ripped to shreds, people go, oh, I don't know if I like watching that. Now, me personally, I picked up that sword from QE and went, wow, this is awesome, until Globebusters made a few assertions that I suddenly realised my sword had to be employed in that regard too. Now, that was a very low time for me. I didn't want to do that. It was crap. Lost shitloads of subscribers. It was all detrimental. But on the other hand, I'd be called a hypocrite if I just let some nonsense assertion that needs addressing with the same exact address that's addressing Globeheads go unchecked. Now, it didn't win me any awards. It definitely didn't win me any friends. But it needed to be done. Because if it wasn't done, it would be us leaving the floodgates open for somebody to come along and say, I am a flat earther. By the way, here's a load of bullshit. But I'm a flat earther, so you better damn well accept it. Well, no, somebody, and unfortunately that has fallen on my shoulders to a certain extent, has to stand and toe the line and go, no, I don't care that you follow the same obvious, observable, coherent acknowledgement of the reality around you. So what? If you're going to talk shit, expect
but
to be
there's got to be
addressed.
someone to like referee and keep people in check on both sides. I understand that.
Well, right, but QE is an extreme example of that, and the fact that you'll sometimes experience his wrath doesn't mean that I in any way, shape, or form.
He has never wrathed me until I just said my thing on Master B today. He's never personally wrathed me at all. I wrathed him more than anything.
Well, there you go. Isn't this a great conclusion?
Okay, Huggies, let's move on.
I think we're going to actually round up the live show at this point.
I didn't want to have an argument. I was just trying to bring something forward because I just didn't want it to have a detrimental impact to the show. So, spoke, said, done, deal with it. let's move on.
And with that, I'll say if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be some reflection, maybe some Kumbaya singing in the after show afterwards. But if you are watching this live on Nathan Oakley 1980, unfortunately, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, loads of them. Thank you very much indeed. Hopefully I didn't miss any. I know I did. Workhorse. QE is Nathan's personal Chihuahua man-child. Okay, thank you very much for the super chat, Workhorse. As I say, stay tuned if you're watching on the premiering stream on Nathan Oakley channel. Another massive thank you to all of you tuned in. Hopefully smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Join the show, but I knew that as soon as I came in, like, it was going to get like this, so I probably shouldn't have come in.
At least it's over and done with now.
You there, John?
I'm here.
Scared.
Shall we move on?
I can move on.
I can move on too.
Do you want to talk about that rocket?
Well, John did ask me about it before, but I don't know if he wants to talk about it or not.
I don't mind. I was just bringing the topic up for the context that you implied with it. I think it's really cool, but if you bring that context up, what you implied, then I'm going to slam dunk you.
Yeah. Well, if I implied that I didn't mean to. I didn't even realize I typed anything that implied that you didn't bring anything to the table. Quite contraire, mate. I think you do, but like my issue wasn't about that. My issue was just about, just how you act sometimes. That's all it was. It's nothing to do with what you bring to the table. Obviously, you bring good, relevant stuff to the table. So yeah.
I know what my problem with Discord was. Oh, sorry.
I ask no quarter, and none shall be given.
Okay.
Well, you don't know my background. I'm not talking about to you.
Oh, sorry.
I'm talking about to anyone in general that I deem a pretender clown. I am going to expose them. I don't care whether you're a flat earther, you love pink unicorns, you believe in fairies. It doesn't matter. If I find you to be a fraud, I'm going to expose you.
That's fine.
That's it. That's how I roll.
Do you feel that I'm a pretender clown, though?
I did not say that, did I? I did not say that.
No, I was just asking. That's all.
I haven't
I hope you don't, because I'm not.
Yeah, I haven't made my full evaluation. No one's opinion will sway me. I make my own evaluation. They go through my personal crucible. So I don't operate on comment sections. I don't operate on popularity, the number of people who say this, those types of things. They do not affect me whatsoever.
That's honorable. That's cool. So in regards to what you were saying before about my rocket, so I can do a screen share. I don't look the best. I had a big day at work, but let me see. I forgot how to do it. It's been ages since I've been on here. Is there a way you can screen share to go to like webcam? How do you do that? Oh yeah, just like that. You can see me?
Yes.
Cool. So basically, I'm going to build a rocket. Hang on, I'm just going to go over here. I've got all my programmable Arduino stuff here. Just let me grab it. All right, so we have one of these which is an Arduino board, which is programmable to do whatever I program it to do using Arduino software. And what I'm going to do with that is, I'm not sure just yet how I'm going to do it. I'm either going to, if this doesn't work, I'm just going to have to use a blank and put all the appropriate stuff on there that I'm going to need. But so the way it works is, I'm going to build a rocket. I'm going to start off small, try and get the best ingredient for the motor. At the moment, I've got a rocket setting, which is a mix of potassium nitrate, a few other things I probably shouldn't mention online anyway. Not because it's illegal, but yeah, there's crazy people out there. Yeah, and anyway, I'm pretty sure this one, the difference with this one is I'm using iron oxide, e.g., also known as rust, whereas my previous one, I used aluminium. So this one, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a better burn. And if that's the case, then I'll be using this. So the plan is to do one small scale rocket launch just to see how high I get. And then after that, I'm going to do like a rocket. The finished rocket's going to be like my height, so 5'7". It's going to have a solid state rocket with cameras inbuilt, and then this little puppy, like this programmable board. So like once I've done my tests, I'm going to know roughly what the flight time is going to be. So say if it's like a 20-second burn, which should get me pretty high, even like 30-second. Say if it's a 30-second burn, I'll program the board to run a timer for say 35 seconds. So burn for 30, and then this flicks on at 35 seconds, sends a signal to a servo, which will open the top of the rocket and let out a parachute, which hopefully works. And I'm going to have cameras mounted on the sides. The only thing that I'm concerned about is getting cameras small enough that aren't going to be really fish-eyed. I'm still trying to find that out. But like I said, it's in stages. I've done video 1. It's going to be a series, so you all can be involved and, message me and let me know what you think I should do differently. And yeah, that's the general gist of things. And everyone's been saying, oh, why don't you do a weather balloon? It's like, do you actually realize how expensive weather balloons are? Like the helium itself to launch just one weather balloon is $600 in Australia. And the balloon's $200, so there's $800, and that would be just to run a test. Like I get one go at it. Whereas this is a controlled environment. I can scale up after my successes, and then get a successful large scale launch. So that's the plan. Hope you like it.
Very cool. Thanks for showing us.
Yeah, it should work. Like the programming and all that's the easy part. But like I'm just the bit that I can, even building the rocket and building the rocket motor is easy. The bit that I'm still not sure about is how I'm going to get the parachute to come out. Like, is it just going to come out on its own, or do I need it to have like a little charge in there to actually like make it blow out? That's one thing I'm still trying to work out.
What's your target height?
I don't know. Like, I need to find out. Like, if you go to the hobby shop, right, and you get those little, for like the hobby rockets, like you get those tiny little charges, and you send your rocket in the air, it goes like 300 meters up. And they're only like a couple of inches. So if I use that for a calculation, say that's a couple of inches, and that goes up 300 meters, and it only burns for like 2 or 3 seconds. Hang on a sec. Sorry. Nearly. Yep. Sorry, I'm gonna have to go in a sec. Yeah. So if I go up from there, like my aim is like, why send a rocket to plane level, like say 32,000 feet? That's just stupid, because people in a plane can look out a window and get an observation. So I need to get above that. I need to get up to stratosphere or like higher. That's the goal, because I don't see the point of sending a rocket up to go to drone height. I don't see the point in sending a rocket up to plane height. You know, we've all been in a plane. We've all looked out the window. We've seen that. I want to go beyond that. So, yeah, the longer the burn, the better, I suppose. But it just comes down to trial and
So
error. Yeah,
would you go early morning or late afternoon?
I don't know. Someone was saying that's gonna make a big difference, but I don't know. Like, you guys input. I'm in Perth, so if you guys can recommend a good time, like, you know, like if we want to kind of like make it so sunrise or sunset or something like that, I don't know. Yeah, all that kind of input would be really helpful from you guys. So, like, I'm good at building stuff, but if you guys have input as to when or where I should launch, like obviously, like where I live, it's residential, so I can't do the launches from here. I'm gonna have to go out in, like, you know, a couple of k's inland, because I'm gonna have to put a GPS system on this. So I'll have to be able to track it down, go for a walk, and find it. I don't want it landing in someone's backyard and then, yeah, getting in trouble. So it's going to have to be out in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, that's the general gist. What do you reckon, John?
I don't know if he's around. He might have disappeared.
Yeah,
Get
no,
back to us.
no, I'm still here. I was listening. I'm waiting for the goal.
So the goal is to go up and see what the heck is up there. You know, like global flat, we're only seen what NASA and everything has shown us. So I want to try and get right up there and see if the horizon just keeps going and going and going when we're up in the stratosphere, or if I can see a glow, basically. If I can see curve. Like, even if it's I should be able to see it. That's the goal. I want to know for myself. I'm sick and tired of arguing, basically. Like that's kind of half the reason why I got angry at years, because I'm like, it's just me personally. I'm just sick and tired of the back and forth. Like I'm doing this because I want to help find an answer. You know, I'm doing this out of my own pocket, not to like big note myself, but you know, I don't expect anyone to put any money towards this. Like, I'm going to do it, but like, if the best thing anyone can do is like give me advice, and you know, I'm pretty handy with programming and technological side of things, and I'm pretty good at building the rocket, and yeah. So yeah, if you want to know anything else, keep watching my channel, because I'll upload the videos as I go. So I was going to do an upload today, like on this rocket that I've got ready to go, but I didn't finish work till 6:30, so it was a bit late, so I couldn't film it and render it and upload it. I'll have to do it tomorrow, and hopefully that'll be a successful burn, and then we're getting somewhere.
Cool.
So yeah, that's the goal. Get up there.
The only criticism, right? When you say looking for curve and you want to see it, what do you mean exactly?
What was that? Sorry.
So you said, I want to see for myself. I want to see if there's curve. What do you mean? Do you mean the horizon curving?
No. I personally think that when it gets up there, the the horizon, or it's just going to keep going. I'm just going to see blue horizon for as far as the eye can see. Even when I get up into the stratosphere, I'm not going to see like what they show you in the stratosphere is like a curved globe. I don't think I'm going to see that.
But you're talking
And
about
that's what I want to prove.
That's what I'm talking about. The horizon, right?
Yeah.
But what is the horizon?
Where I don't know. What's your view of the horizon? Like, what do you mean?
Well, it's an apparent position, not an actual position. It's the apparent position where the sky appears to meet the ground. So if that position bends, so if you come back and your video is completely bent, I'd go, so what? But you're saying I want to see.
Like, if we're on a flat Earth, like that's like, shouldn't it just keep rising and rising? Like,
shouldn't what? The arbitrary position where the sky appears to meet the ground keep rising and rising?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it's an arbitrary
because
assigned.
My presupposition is, I personally, like, you know, I don't know what you guys believe, like if it's just a flat disc floating or whatever, like I just believe it's a plane, never ending plane. That's what I personally believe. Yeah.
Even if it was,
level of,
but even though it was, the position that you're looking at and asking whether or not you can see it curved and you want to see if it does or not, it's just the limitation of your vision. Doesn't mean anything.
Well, surely if I get up high enough, like if I'm getting up to the heights where NASA is showing us like a globe and I'm not seeing that, then surely that's debunking it, isn't it?
No. So what you need to do in order to either see or unsee or whatever you want in regards to the horizon curving is reify that position into an actual position, the edge of the sphere. So first, you must reify that position, the arbitrary position where the sky appears to meet the ground, into an edge of a sphere that will potentially obstruct things, and then ask yourself how much that reified sphere edge is going to bend when you get up at altitude. It's from the
so
from
what
the
you're saying, I need to work out my point where I launch from, where the horizon is. Is that what you're saying?
It won't make any difference because the horizon will be merely the limitation of the optics of your equipment if you could see at distance. So the arbitrary position where the sky meets the arbitrary position where the sky meets the ground and what it does as you raise in altitude is really kind of irrelevant.
So you don't think it's going to prove anything?
No, because you're asking a question about a not actual position and what it does when you raise in altitude.
But if I'm getting up to heights where, like, you know, even if I get like a minute burn or something like that and get up to insane heights, like, and we can't see a globe, surely I'd be able to see a globe from, say, I don't know, how high in the stratosphere do you have to get when like NASA starts showing you globe images?
But they're just representations, and however they've produced them is irrelevant in terms of reality and what you'll do with what you are presenting us after you've recorded a flight going up and looking at the horizon. This is going to be really, really difficult to respond to you if you just talk through me every time I start talking.
Sorry.
So, regardless of what NASA do, what they're showing you in their images is the edge of a sphere, correct?
Yes.
Right. So the premise of that image is that you are looking at the edge of a sphere regardless of whether it's real, fake, or anything else. It's just preordained in the presentation that you're looking at the edge of a sphere. In your images, you're going to be filming an arbitrary position in reality where the sky doesn't actually meet the ground. Not an edge of anything. So
yeah, exactly.
So how you interpret it when you've got your imagery is still going to be your interpretation, curved or otherwise, and it may even be presented that way. It might be presented concave, but it really matters not, because it's simply an arbitrary designation that we call the horizon, and that position is a not actual position.
So is what you're saying, I need to present the relevant information with this so that people can say like what the height is and what I'm seeing, so they can't like say, oh, you're only this height and blah blah blah. Is that what you meaning?
In order to do that, they will also have to reify the edge of the position where the sky appears to meet the ground, called the horizon, into the edge of a sphere. And then they'll start to use their mathematics based on an R value and compare it and match it up and say that their model makes predictions in terms of what that edge of a sphere does as you raise in altitude. But it isn't.
So what about if on this board, if I put an altimeter or like something that can read the height? So and then like with GPS coordinates, would that help?
To do what?
You know, just to say, yeah, I went to this height and at these coordinates, and you know, this is what we saw.
And what are you looking at?
You kind of got me off guard here. I've got to say, I don't understand.
So if your footage is of the horizon, and your question that you are
Yeah.
asking is, what does the horizon do? And the reason I'm rephrasing what you have said is because you said, I want to see if it does curve or not. Now, it is the horizon.
That was the wrong word. I didn't mean to say that.
But what do you mean? Well, what are you looking for then? That's what I'm asking. If you're looking for curvature of what?
No, I'm not looking for curvature. Like
So
I want to go up, and I want to. I'm expecting to see, no matter how high I go, the flat plane just keep continuing as high as I go, no matter what.
That won't happen.
That's what I'm expecting.
Well, that won't happen.
That
And
won't
I'll tell you
happen?
why. Because the optics will be limited to the point that they can no longer see any further, i.e. the diffraction limit of the lens. So if you want to calculate how far your lens will see, you can work that out with the Rayleigh criterion based on the camera lens that you're using. And then you can calculate approximately at what point things will start to experience interference, disappear to all intents and purposes, into what is
Pixelate
described
kind of
in
thing.
artistic terms as the vanishing point. Well, your vanishing point is that distance calculable in the Rayleigh criterion. Nothing to do with how far you will see on a plane. Again, it's just going to produce the arbitrary position where the sky appears to meet the ground. The vanishing point.
So do you think if I sent a rocket up into the stratosphere, it could achieve anything?
It looked nice, but that's what we're asking you. Or originally, I stepped in at the point that you asked QE what he thought, and he said, I'm waiting to establish what you're trying to achieve. And if what you want to achieve is just a look of what it looks like, wonderful, I'm all for that. But if you're trying to sort of justify whether or not it, being the horizon, bends or not, it's kind of a meaningless task. It's not going to achieve much.
Okay.
So it depends on your
You stumped me,
objectives.
Nathan.
It depends on your objectives. What do you want to achieve? Do you want to just see what's up there? That's a perfectly reasonable
Yeah.
objective.
I do, but I just thought if I got high enough, I could debunk globe. Yeah. I just thought if I got high enough, I could. Because that should really...
I see.
That should
You
happen.
don't need a rocket to do that. So upon... All it would do in that regard
Yeah,
is
but
mean that
if I did though, like if I did send a rocket up high enough, and the globe, I couldn't see a globe, like that would be debunking it straight away. If I had this to show how high I went,
Nah,
the GPS coordinates.
All they say is you didn't go high enough. You need an extra 2,000 feet, and then you'd have seen it.
And all
Well,
the
let's go fucking really
but
high.
so it's just back to the point I was making originally. So the Globehead, in this case, Johnny Globehead Sleeping Warrior, says you haven't gone high enough. High enough for what? What would he achieve if he went higher, Johnny Globehead Sleeping Warrior?
Oh, you'd start to see the curve. It'd only be by
the curve. The curve of what now? Let's get this going quickly.
Pixels, but it'd be there if you went an extra 2,000 feet.
What would be there?
I
The
get
curve.
what you're
You said
saying.
the curve. The curve of what?
The horizon.
The curve of the presupposed edge of the sphere Earth that you're trying to prove with this reified sphere edge that's actually an arbitrary position where the sky meets the ground. That curve. See where I'm going?
All right, you two bloody devil advocates ruining my dream, assholes.
Well, look at it this way. Look at the pattern. They used to say that you could see it on a plane. Then we showed them the windows had bezels to them. Then they said, you had to see it. You could only see it on Concorde. That flew at 70,000. That was from 35 up to 70,000 feet for Concorde. And then once that got disproved by numerous people that said that you couldn't see it at Concorde, Neil deGrasse Tyson then said, I even Felix Baumgartner at 130,000 feet. That stuff is flat. So they're constantly moving the goalposts. And if they do that repeatedly, what makes you think that you could get 250 or 500,000 feet and they'd say the same thing? Yeah, you can go onto Google Earth and zoom up to 30,000 feet, just pan up to the horizon, see a lovely globe.
That's all high altitude planes.
Yeah, but they'll move the goalposts on you no matter what.
The point is, the debunking of the argument is to wait till they make the assertion in regards to an arbitrary position where the sky appears to meet the ground. And what they actually do is turn that into the edge of the sphere they're trying to prove. Now, when you send your rocket up to have a look, and a fundy comes along and uses that footage to assert that that's the leading edge of a sphere, then you just need to know this section of the argument, which is to say, hello, fundy, it's not the edge of a sphere you're trying to prove. That's all you need to know. But in terms of just why you do it, have a look, man. I'm all for Ranty going out with his camera just to get nice pictures. You know, they're on screen now.
We never know what what we could see. I mean, it'd be cool vision.
Yeah. I'd like to know what the sky is, and the more you have a look at something, the more you might actually figure it out. But yeah, not looking isn't going to help. You looking is potentially going to help. You might find it's more fruitless than you hoped, but so what? It doesn't mean you don't try.
Yeah, I'm still going to do it, but yeah, you've made me think about it a bit more. Yeah.
Do you remember when I did my?
This is what I mean. Though, like I need other people's perspective.
Do you remember when I did my Isle of Man observations and they said go back to the beach and get it, Riley? So I went back to the beach and I got it, and there was a fucking ghost town. Nobody said fucking anything. They didn't even acknowledge that I went back and got it. And that was when I kind of realized that these fuckers will just deny everything, because you shouldn't be able to see.
I remember those arguments.
You shouldn't be able to see it from the beach, but I could see it. Now, I'm not saying that makes it flat. I'm not saying. What I'm saying is that they gave me the target. I went and did it, and then they just didn't even acknowledge it. And I'm like, you fuckers are just dishonest.
You can't, man. So can I ask John if you think what you were saying before, you know, do I seem legit enough or not? Am I in your target zones? Should I be worried?
No, not at all. I have nothing against you. I had just had something against your comment in Master B's.
I understand. Cool.
I think it has terrorist sympathizer written all over it, and I'm just not going to entertain it. I'm sorry if you feel that I'm harsh on Globers. They may be coming in. They may be coming in talking nicely. I don't know. Did you want to answer for me? Go ahead.
So I was thought you were going to talk about the rocket. I didn't realize you were going back on that. So.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the thing before. Yeah, I don't have nothing against you, sir. Nothing. Your rocket, I asked you what your goals were. I just wanted to know the goals. Listen, if you want to do it for yourself, more power to you. All right? I have no problem with that. searching out
Do
the
you
answers.
do you have any input? Like, do you reckon there's anything? If like, I want all you guys to like message me with like input. So I'm sure you can all help me. So
Yeah, I just
but
like I
anyway,
said, I wanted to know the goal, and Nathan stated pretty much where my position was. Now, if you can get the
Yeah.
rocket to a really high altitude, I might be interested in that. I'd like to see
what
it.
kind of altitude would you reckon? What would
I would
be?
say anything above 200,000 feet.
Yeah, I was just about to say that
Okay.
above 200,000, because as far as I can
Okay.
establish, you get claims of up to 130, 140 that seem to be pretty genuine, and then beyond that, they all seem that little bit more suspect. But yeah, I'd love to see something at 200,000 that's legit, that's been produced by you. But how?
Yeah,
Can you even get to 200,000? The question is, I don't know.
I will get there. I will get there.
Well,
But we
the
will
thing
get
is,
there.
what are you
But
hoping to
what?
achieve?
I don't know.
Because
What
no matter
would that rock?
no
You
matter-
know that red rocket that went up that like went really really high and then just stopped. How high did that go? Because if that's less than 200, like, am I going to get that stop as well? Can you even go that high?
let me ask you something. Let's just say you got to 200,000 feet and it didn't show that what you were expecting it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
What would you then think?
I would then think, man, that was fucking cool, and I can't believe I did it, and I would feel a sense of achievement still.
What
Like, it's
about
not.
what about sense of closure on the point of whether or not there's any spherical like curve to the horizon? Would that like
I would.
would if it was flat at that point, would you still accept that? Would you accept that it was flat, or would you still be looking for the curve?
I'm already a flat earther. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no. But what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, what I'm getting at is why spend time and money on something that what are you going to get out of it if you are already a flat earther?
Well, to be honest, it's just something that I'd love to do, and I think it would be a cool way to maybe enlighten some globe earthers. Maybe, I don't know. Like,
It won't do that.
But-
They'll ignore it and they'll say you should have got an
it
extra.
might
10.
for some though. Like, you can't speak for everyone. So
They do, mate. Trust me.
There's
They do.
a lot of fence sitters.
But I think it's a good thing you're doing observations for yourself. I mean, something everybody should do.
It is a good thing. I agree. I just wonder what you hope to get out of doing anything more than just horizon observations. Because I mean, rockets get expensive, and they will always move the goalposts on you.
Nah, it's not that expensive. Hey, like the potassium nitrate, I think that cost me $80. The sugar is bugger all. Iron oxide, anyone can make that with some salty water and some what do you call it? I don't even think of the word. Steel wool. Easy as. And I already have like powdered aluminium for like making little like miniature sculptures because it has a low melting point. So but yeah, so it's not that expensive, but yeah, like making like potassium, like especially for you guys in the US, like you, John, like if you wanted to make a rocket, like here in Australia, it's a bit harder because trying to get hold of potassium nitrate is not as easy. Like over there, you guys have like stump grinder that's pure potassium nitrate. So you guys can literally go to the hardware and pick up potassium nitrate for like $8 and like build like a decent rocket for like bugger all. I'm surprised a lot of people don't do that. But
Okay, I mean, when I asked you, you already gave an answer, which is to say, what are you trying to achieve? You want a globe debunk out of this. You want to be able to hold it up as a globe debunking and put the word globe debunked on the title, presumably, right? Am I right? It's okay if that's what you want.
I don't have to. I can just say, look, 200 foot rocket observation and see.
Sure, but
and
your
then
average typical flat earther is going to put the strap line, no curvature seen. Yeah?
Oh,
And what
yeah,
they mean is,
I would put that on there.
yeah, but that's what I'm trying to get across to you, is that if you want it as a globe debunking, the only way to have that is to put it out as a curvature observation. In other words, beg the question
Oh,
for
what-
them in regards to what the
That's
horizon
exactly
is.
what the plan was. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You know, unless you're prepared to beg the question for them. In other words, implicitly understanding that the horizon and what it does is irrelevant because it's not a curve of an Earth that they've reified from a sphere model and then assigned to an arbitrary position where the sky appears to meet the ground. Once you understand that, you'll appreciate that horizon observations from rockets or balloons or anything else are kind of meaningless. The diffraction limit of the lens is far more critical because that will dictate how far you can see if the day is clear enough. But that's all it'll do, is tell you where that line's going to be drawn in your image based on the distance and the aperture of your camera. That's it. But once you understand that, if you want it to be a globe proof, all you can do is use it as a hook to get a fundie to beg the question by not putting it in the strap line that it is just a horizon observation, and then pointing out to the fundie in the comments. The position you're assigning as an edge of a sphere is your reification fallacy. It's your assigning an edge to something that you're trying to prove, so therefore begging the question. Once you've understood that, you'll understand that you can undo any assertion in any comment on that video ever, because you're never going to ever have a fundie overcome that argument. They're not going to rebut you pointing out that they're reifying the edge of their sphere into an arbitrary position where it appears the sky meets the ground. That's all you need to say to them, because then they've got no proof.
Okay.
These horizon dip arguments, they fall on their arse. The mathematics calculating whether or not there's going to be any dip at the edges of a wide photograph based on sphere mathematics, it falls on its arse as well, because they're reifying a sphere edge into the horizon. That's it. That's all you need to know. Beyond that, though, send your rocket, man. I'm all for it. I love that. I just hate the bit where you get a flat earther. This is where it's the double-edged sword that says no curvature seen. What? No presupposed sphere edge from a horizon curvature, you mean? But they obviously don't understand that argument, or they wouldn't put it out as a globe debunk, which is kind of the road you want to go on, and I'm trying to steer you off it.
Okay. Well, that's what I want you guys to all like help me with. Like, I want this to be like a group effort. Like, yeah, okay, I'm building it, but like I want you guys' input to help me make this work as good as it can. So,
well, it has. In terms of what does it benefit? This is my round out point. So, in terms of how it benefits, you having this conversation with us and explaining that you want to make a horizon observation and send it up to see if it curves or not, gives me and everyone else on the panel the opportunity to point out, first and foremost, if you beg the question, Anthony can tell you exactly what will happen, because that's generally the road he argues along, and he'll tell you what happens when you beg the question. They move the globe posts, as he puts it, so you won't get high enough to see that bending edge of a sphere they've presupposed. So that's the bit I want you to focus on, and I've got my audience to focus on it, because you've said I want to make essentially a horizon observation where I beg the question of a leading edge of a sphere for them, and then say it doesn't bend.
So pretty much, I'm going to swear here, I'm going to have to get high as fuck.
No, but no matter how high you get, they'll always say you needed to get an extra 5,000 feet.
Yeah, you can always use it to show Coriolis effect doesn't it work?
See, the thing is, the question is, how do you know how do you know what height it should be before we start to see the curve? And on their model that they deny is their model, but is their model, you can get it at 30,000 feet on Google Earth.
I can answer
but when
that.
you point out to them, they don't even accept that that's their model anymore.
I can answer that. I can answer that.
Where is the globe posts?
I can answer that. Mathematically, let me answer. When you reify the edge of the horizon into this leading edge of a sphere based on mathematics and presupposition of an R value, when you do that, you should be able to see that presupposed sphere edge curving at ground level, getting increasingly curved as you raise in altitude. That is exactly what should happen. It should be abundantly obvious that we're on a sphere if we're on a sphere from ground level, getting more pronounced as you raise in altitude.
Exactly, because they say you see ships go over the curve.
No,
which is what?
No. I've got to correct that. No, I'm talking about the horizon and what it does when you bend it. So upon modelling it, this was done with Chris Monk. It was then apparent, and this caused a change in the mathematics on Metabunk, to include how much the leading edge of a reified sphere edge, also known as the horizon or arbitrary position where the sky meets the ground, will bend from ground level. It's calculable. If you go into the advanced mathematics tab on Metabunk's calculator, they will tell you how much it should bend, not how much is obscured, not how much is obstructed, nothing to do with the diffraction limit, the hijacked perspective they call Earth curve in that regard. I'm talking about how much the horizon bends because the Earth that they call the sphere edge, i.e. a horizon, should bend at ground level. Now it's tiny, but it should be there. And I didn't believe it until Chris showed me it modelled on a to scale sphere. And absolutely correct. As you spin your camera, you should be able to see that horizon bending a little tiny bit, and it should be photographable, i.e. capturable from the ground. And we saw it modelled. Anthony will back me up in this regard. You should see curving, reified sphere edges from ground level.
So do they claim that the horizon is the actual place?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a leading edge of a sphere. That's what they say the horizon is. That's why it's blocking things, right? Well, that edge should curve at a given amount, and you should be able to see it and calculate it mathematically. Now, coincidentally, it would appear that seems to fall in line with the bending of edges of lenses, which they absolutely always will. That's what you get at the end of a wide screen, if you will, a very panoramic shot of something like the Isle of Man zoomed right out. Well, in that type of shot, you should have enough landscape in your lens to have curvature visible. Now, when I say curvature, I'm again talking not about obstruction bullshit. I'm talking about what they reify into that line where the sky appears to meet the ground and how much it should bend down at the edges based on us being on a sphere. So when Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's double speaking between obstruction and presumably if he was put to task, we don't know. But we're talking now specifically about their reified edge of a sphere, otherwise known as the horizon, and how much that should dip and how much that should increase its curving as you raise in altitude. Because that's what Mind Warped is, or was setting out to achieve originally. He's looking at the horizon. He's not looking at how much obstruction they claim is visible. That's not what he's doing. It's just the horizon and how much it should bend as you go up in altitude. Neil deGrasse Tyson says from 120, 130,000 feet, that stuff is flat. Well, no. If you live on a sphere, it would be absolutely visible from those altitudes, getting ever more visible as you raise. So yes, it should certainly be visible because it should be calculable and visible and photographable from ground level.
All right, guys, I gotta go.
Thank you. See you again.
Cheers, man.
Hey, I just wanted to say before I go, you know how you showed your screen, Nathan? So you amped me to go and be a naughty boy, and I got my laptop, and now I've got a big 55-inch monitor, UHD 4K. Oh yeah.
Oh, very nice. Swish. Very nice.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, man.
Well, I was jealous of Nathan's. I was like, man, it makes it so
4K
easy because
goodness.
I'm trying to set up OBS, and I was like, oh nah, I need a bigger screen.
It's incredibly handy. Right, we'll let you get on. Thank you, Mind Warped. Hopefully see you soon.
All right, thank you. Yeah, you can probably see my daughter and
Cheers,
my wife there trying to get me to come inside. I'll catch you later.
Bye for now.
Till tomorrow.
Found out the issue with Discord. So,
Oh, you did. I was just going to ask you.
yeah, towards the end of the show, my wife pointed out that she'd changed some of the sound settings. And I was like, oh, that's wonderful.
Was it voice meter?
No, she goes into sound and just basically disconnects voice meter. But if you change it, it then requires a PC restart for it to work properly again. It just confuses
That's
you.
right.
So
Yeah, you've always given me that advice ever since I got voice meter. You're right. Yeah, hard start.
But I didn't know that. I didn't know she'd made changes. So it's just one of those. I gave her a wry smile. And I'm like, did you make some changes? Oh yeah, should I have told you?
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be resolved tomorrow if it doesn't, because last time that happened it killed one of the lines on the desk, believe it or not, on voice meter. So hopefully it hasn't killed the other line. We shall see.
Yeah. Wow.
Interesting today.
Yeah.
Really? How so?
It was a shit show, that, guys. Let's be honest. I think.
Tell us how you really feel.
If you look at what's happened, Jose is getting like Jose's got that cheeky chappy approach now, and all the ballers are sucking his dick because of it. We've still got the hard line approach, basically giving them nothing. And it's like, there's a tactical game being played here that they're playing better than us. I don't know what to do to counter it. Do we ease off on it, or do we carry on playing hardball?
It'll counter itself eventually, because when you actually do it like he does, and he'll just get really confused eventually.
Confused. He'll get confused tying his own shoes. What are we talking about here?
Flip flop.
Yeah, if
Well,
you
Jose.
entertain the presuppositions too much, go too far, then you lose track.
Oh, Chocolate threw that video up yesterday in Master B's. I turned it on. And who do I hear? Gem Panda and his birds humping natural experiments. If you get, I couldn't believe it. All right.
I've not seen or heard anything from Gem Panda for the longest of times.
Oh,
was
you was
yesterday.
such a whiny old woman there. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Literally like that. Half hour nonstop.
He's just about one slightly higher level retard than Jose is. The guy thinks that he's like an intellectual, but he's an Elmer Fudd sophist, right? And all he does is start over talking everyone, get rambling on his monologues about absolutely nothing. He thinks he can hide behind that. Jim, I can remember when I first come out here, this guy, me and Cathexis, sat there for over an hour explaining, guess what? The Coriolis effect, right? Over an hour, step by step, taking him through. Timmy Clown was even on the show. And at the end, he was more confused than in the beginning. And even Timmy was laughing at him. I remember that like it was yesterday.
I honestly think because that topic of Coriolis has phrases that, let's be honest, they confuse people at the best of times. You can misspeak really easily. I think we should just apply the approach that you can't even have the Coriolis conversation unless you can demonstrate that the Earth is turning. Why should we even let them beg the question on it?
Do you want the answer? Do you want Devil's Advocate Fundy Global answer? Because
I already answered this question. And who are you to talk about chasing begging the question fallacies?
That's his bag.
No, you're right. You're right. I am being a hypocrite when I say that, because I enjoy begging the question too. But I think because on that one topic, it's so backwards in how they describe it with the terminology. I think we're probably doing ourselves worse favors by arguing it than just not begging the question in the first place. Just say Earth curve.
No. I love arguing it because it is a spinning ball killer.
Yeah, it is, but people that are on the fence that are not sure which way to think about it.
I've put out a couple presentations that explain it step by step. That you should be getting it now. They should got it. I did 3 ball busters explaining this. I went slow, right? If you can't get it, if you can't get it by now, I'm sorry. Then you need to get out of this genre, right? And go back to picking up cans along the side of the road. Supervised.
They want it to be an obfuscated subject, Anthony. They want it to be double-speaked and argued into obscurity. But they will
to be like that. But by us doing it means that they get the chance to obfuscate the fucking hell out of it. And I don't think that's beneficial to us.
I think it's a chance to expose them.
You've got to be a Coriolis ninja to expose them, because they will catch you out in doublespeak if they understand it better than you do. But that's what they're relying upon, and it's one of their weakest arguments.
Right. Yeah, exposing the doublespeak does really help.
And I think
Especially
people are
when
getting
it's
it, QE.
blatantly.
I think people are. I've seen it in the comments. People are getting it. I see people arguing the correct position and point. And when I see comments like, so no Coriolis then, full stop, I'm like, yes, people are getting it.
It would help if Nathan, I've got a visual that might be of use. It's a spinning globe with planes flying around it. It might be helpful if we showed it more often, because I think describing this with words is probably our worst enemy. I think if we use the like visuals to make the point that we're making, then I think the visuals will speak louder than the misspeak or the what's the word I'm looking for? The obfuscation tactics that they do use can never do anything, because they just do us damage, I think.
But for how long, seriously, have I been putting up the Coriolis effect picture? Even made an update. I'll present it right now.
Plenty.
You made an update.
But you're right, Anthony. I'm not. I don't disagree with you. What you're saying is, by us arguing it, they get to get the opportunity to leave the audience dumbfounded. That's what you're basically saying, isn't it? Well, I'm saying and they will take that every opportunity. And if we don't understand it better than they do, to the point where we can catch them out, then they will just keep doing that with newbies and other people, and no one will ever get to the point where they understand it. But we're now at the point, because we're arguing about it and getting more and more concise every day. I just trimmed out a bit. It was still 20 minutes long. But before now, I've never had a point where I've gone, I can trim out that little argument about Coriolis effect, stick it on a little video and go, there you go, bosh. That's how you double speak your way around their double speak and explain to them how they're wrong. Because it's always been an hour. Well, yesterday it was 20 minutes. I'm hoping that the more we talk about it, I can get it down to 10. I can't wait till I can get a 3-minute video where I whip them around the drain with Coriolis. It's there with gravity, man. You and I can whip people down that gravity drain pretty damn quickly. Good, probably 3 minutes and we can get that gravity whipped down the drain, right?
Yeah.
Well, Coriolis is 20 at the moment. I want it down to 3.
Yeah, but the problem is the people can't visualize when you speak.
Why can't we just say then, if you want it down to 3 minutes, why don't we just say to them, prove that the Earth's turning before you have the conversation? Isn't it like gas pressure in the antecedent?
Here we go. I'll go back to that point. Brilliant. So you're saying we'll prove the Earth turns first. Oh, well, I'm going to play Johnny Globehead then. Oh, well, yeah. That's what Coriolis effect does. Proves it's spinning. Are we now in an argument about Coriolis, by the way? Just out of interest.
Well, what if they just started to argue that there is no Coriolis effect because,
check it out.
It's just moving succinctly.
Check it out. So we are in an argument about Coriolis effect, and I'm Johnny Globehead with the upper hand because I can obfuscate this around and round in circles for 3 hours. Well, isn't that interesting? Well, so in other words, we just got to become Coriolis debating ninjas. There's no other way.
That's exactly the problem. You see, this takes work. You have to understand the argument from every angle. You have to become the Coriolis effect. You have to feel the quan, right? Before you step into this arena. You can't be half-stepping Chris and the plain truth, Travis. You have to know the argument backwards and forwards before you step in here, or you're going to get your ass handed to you.
I want to give my analogy again, my Doom analogy. So there's a guy who's playing, I think it's Doom 2. I've been watching a lot of speedrunning videos. I've given this analogy before. And the speedrunner is explained, he's the best speedrunner at a particular level where he's got to negotiate these little ledges that are only 2 or 3 pixels wide. And of course, he's trying to do it as fast as possible, and it's pissing him off because he keeps falling off. And he's trying to do it quickly, and he's got to go slowly. You understand the frustration that he would be experiencing. You've got to go fast, can't go fast because you could fall off, so you've got to go slow when you want to go fast. Annoying. So he starts to loathe these bloody ledges, hates them, despises them. And I could totally relate with Coriolis. Every bloody argument, we end up in obfuscation, and even if you win a point, you've won it in a moment that's then rumpus 20 seconds later and lost to the audience. Annoying, frustrating, but you keep getting into the arguments and you keep battling through. But the analogy with the guy in Doom was eventually he mastered them. He got the muscle memory down, and he could do them time and time again, and then start improving the times and winning each time and never falling off. Then he learned to love them. Then he loved those ledges. They were brilliant. They were the best ledges ever. So when you hear Kiwi going, no, I do like arguing Coriolis effect because it absolutely destroys the spinning ball Earth. If you understand the argument so back to front and inside out that you can catch someone like Zanuck out when he says, yeah, and if you remain on the inertial reference frame, you go, you don't understand Coriolis effect, Zanuck. It's the non-inertial reference frame that spins. But you've got to know during the argument to be able to catch them out and humiliate them based on their apparent lack of understanding when it's in reality just a misspeak, but you've got to be the one with the upper hand. That's what they do to us. What do you mean the inertial reference frame that spins? No, it doesn't. That's the non-inertial reference frame. You don't understand Coriolis. And then suddenly the globe gets the perceived win. No, that's not how it's got to be. It's got to be you knowing it inside out and back to front. And when they start equivocating, you can say, no, it's not both travelling as one and giving you deviation. That's not going to fly here, or I understand the difference and how one gives you the effect you need to prove it spins and one doesn't. And the audience is starting to get it to the point where they can read a comment 2 or 3 times, presumably, and go, hang on a second, they're saying it's got the momentum being carried along with it, so it doesn't show the deviation. Doesn't show the deviation. That's what they need to prove it spins. And when people have got that fixed firmly in their mind, rather than, hold on, how do I get around the fact they're saying they're travelling as one? You don't need to. They're arguing for there being no proof of spin.
But do you think we're still going to be arguing about this in 12 months from now?
Yeah.
In the same percentages?
God, you've got very low time tolerances. I would expect us to be still arguing about this in 12 years.
In the same percentages?
No, we'll just have it whipping down the drain much quicker. So what will happen is, because this has happened recently, what will happen is we'll be sat back one day. It'll be an after show, right? The live show will have ended. And someone will have joined Discord right at the end of the live show. And we'll start talking about something like Back to the Future and how they've dropped in azimuthal equidistant maps to program people with the control dot narrative. And all this stuff sounds really like conspiratard. You know, these people, they're talking about Back to the Future. And some fundy globehead will come in 12 years from now and go, you realise that it's obviously spinning. We've got this thing called the Coriolis effect. That's how it starts. And we go, oh yeah. Here we go. And that will just continue so long as the rhetoric of a spinning ball Earth in a vacuum is the most perpetuated religious faith of the time. And that's how I see it remaining that way for at least the next 20 years.
Yeah, well, haven't you realised the same questions keep just recycling throughout the years?
Somebody said something about a spinning ball. Where's it at?
Hey, Chocolate.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
You.
I'm going to do an assumptive plug for Ranty. Hopefully he won't let me down in scheduling terms, because if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then this is going to be where we say goodbye. But say, if you want to continue watching with the live chat, there is actually a show that will run in about 30 seconds from now, which is Ranty's Flat Earth Roundtable / Chit Chat, which is starting any moment on the Ranty Flat Earth channel. So be here or be sphere on the Ranty Flat Earth channel for the Ranty Flat Earth Roundtable / Chit Chat. A massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this after show possible. Of course, a massive thank you to all of you in the premiering stream audience for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Some people on my cat shot and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!